Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting edition of the OverMark Podcast. We're up to number 83 here. Jeez,
That's right.
we'll be closing in on a year sometime here after WrestleMania, so that'll be cool. Maybe we'll do something special. Maybe we won't. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
who
anyway,
knows?
we're back. Hey TJ, how's it going?
Not too bad. We're here. It's Tuesday. I don't think we've done a Tuesday in a while, which is cool. We done Wednesday. We done Thursday. We done Friday.
Yeah.
Here we are, Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday was a day that for whatever reason we usually skipped. It was usually going to be like, Monday or someday Wednesday or later in the week.
Yeah,
But here we are.
Nothing wrong with the Tuesday. I like it.
I like it. Feels natural.
Yeah, I remember we used to do 2 a week.
Yeah. Speaking of things that feel natural, how about them jugs? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I don't know. You want to hear something crazy? So
Yeah.
I don't want to get too weird and vocal here and get in trouble on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
But my dad was talking to me about my niece, and she's,
Oh, no.
probably I feel like what most girls will consider like to be lucky, I guess, with their anatomy. She probably weighs about 100 pounds, and she has F's on her. And apparently her mother has talked her into getting a reduction, and I told my dad that would be a terrible mistake because not everybody's born with things like that. And, those are gifts. And I know there's no way she's in pain because she's like fucking 17 years old, like she's.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And
Don't say that.
well, her mom's just a complete nutcase, and I just feel bad for her. And I just feel like maybe she should wait till she's 18 to make such a important
Wait
life-altering
until you're an
decision.
adult.
And,
Yeah.
That's
That's good advice for anybody. Wait until you're an adult.
I just somewhat feel bad because she's being misstrayed by a I don't know, just it's like the Wicked Witch of the West or something like that. But it's not on me. I was just sharing an opinion on something that I thought was weird I heard today. Me and my dad are driving around in the truck. I pop in. You hear him sometimes. You hear us all. Me and him saying some stupid shit, but. Yeah, man, overall it was a pretty good day. It's been an easy week so far. What'd you get into today? Deliver some beds? Sling some medical supplies?
Yeah. It was a relatively easy day compared to what I thought it was going to be, so that was nice. Got home at a relatively good time. Feel
cool.
good. I'm having a little bit of Brandon issues. I got a nice cushion for that though, so hopefully,
Yeah.
Hopefully
that'll help.
it's pretty comfortable, this cushion. So
Yeah,
hopefully it does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I was telling you one of the reasons why we're doing today is because I'm going out of town Thursday. I'll be leaving work, heading home, taking a shower. I'll already have my stuff ready, and then I'll hop in the rental car. I like doing rentals for these, but I want to put all these miles on my own vehicle.
Right?
But yeah, I get the rental, and I'll go up to Cumberland, then I'll be heading back Sunday. So I'll see some old friends. Gonna try to be more productive than usual this time, since it's just me. I'll be able to travel around more freely, without the dogs and Cora, and just a little bit easier to stay mission focused when it's just you. You got to worry about.
You gonna go to that pizza place that you told me about?
Every time, yeah, JJ's every time.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to take a picture of it, and then we'll show it when I'm talking about it in the next episode that we'll do next week. But yeah, it's JJ's. I've been eating this shit since I've been a little kid. It's my favorite wing and pizza
looking
place.
it up here. Oh,
JJ's
4.4 on
Pizzeria.
Google.
And you'll see the only thing people probably talking shit on it is that it's really expensive. But any good pizza place is, and anything that's got a reputation for being the best in town, they're probably going to charge the most in town. But it's not by that much more. It is expensive, but it's good shit. We're going to get the extra, I get the extra hot, extra spicy wings, the buffalo chicken pizza, and I dip the buffalo chicken pizza in their sauce. Man, it's fucking like some of the best shit that you could have. I'll probably gain a couple pounds, and then I'll bring a fucking pizza home with me too. And I'll eat that over the like Sunday, and then Monday I'll eat like part of it, like coming back in the car. 6-hour trip. I usually get it down to 5 hours and 30 minutes. Not really speeding, just staying with the flow of traffic and everything. But yeah, that'll be me. gonna try to get the. I mean, we will. I'll definitely get it done. But gonna get the Overmark gaming episode. Gonna be editing that Wednesday. So overall, it's a somewhat productive, busy week for me, and looking forward to it. And that's me. Just gave you my little update.
This pizza looks pretty good. I'm looking at some pictures here.
Really, looks don't do it justice. Like, you look at the pepperoni, it just looks like whatever. But I'm telling you, that buffalo chicken pizza's thick. It's like an inch fucking and a half pizza, or like thick pizza. And the wings are fucking awesome.
Bunch of this picture. This is off of one of the Google reviews. I'd eat the shit out of that, man.
Let me pull it up real fast here.
Just a regular old pepperoni pizza. What do we got here?
It's good, and then you dip that in there, like you get wings, and then you dip that in the fucking sauce, man, and it's really good. I haven't found a pizza like this. Has spoiled me on wings and pizza, because everything that I found here just fucking, it's trash. North Carolina's like imitation food somewhat.
Yeah. Thankfully, people always hate on Florida and say that you can't get good food down here.
Well, that can't be true. There's a lot of
important
people.
We have so many nice folks that have immigrated here from the Northeast that maybe used to run restaurants or still run restaurants and have just moved down here and have opened restaurants down here. And we have a pizza place in Tampa called Eddie and Sam's New York Pizza.
Yeah.
And they eat, some people say what they want about the New York water making a difference or not. These guys use the New York water for their dough. And it's the best pizza that you can get in the Tampa Bay area. I mean, this shit is good. When we used to tailgate really hard, when we had season tickets for the Bucks, we would go pick up. We would do like theme meals for whoever the teams were. So anytime we played against New York, we would just go there and pick up a bunch of pizzas and show up to the tailgate. Yeah. And everybody would be going mental for them. And some of our friends that tailgated with us had family that would come down from New York, and they were going mental for the pizza. And they're like from Brooklyn, from the city. Like, you stumble out of your apartment in diarrhea, good places to get pizza, and they were going mental over how good it was. So, take that for what it's worth. One more thing to talk about it, and then we'll move on, because this is not food talk. However, I think I've told you about this before. Garlic knots, obviously.
Yeah.
At this place, they make a giant bun-sized garlic knot, like, hamburger bun size. They cut that bitch in half. They throw a chicken cutlet on there, a big old thing of fresh mozzarella, and a ladle of sauce. And then they put the top on there, and then they hit it with a whole bunch of the garlic knot sauce that comes on the garlic knots,
Gravy.
You have to wash your hands after you eat it. Like, it's a napkin.
Yeah.
I usually cut it in half and eat it one half at a time. It's so good. The sauce is just dripping out everywhere. You got, marinara dripping everywhere. You got garlic butter sauce dripping everywhere. Man, it's like a chicken parm sandwich on a fucking garlic knot.
Yeah, I essentially like anything buffalo chicken, but it's got to be like, good. People make a lot of shitty buffalo chicken stuff out there, and JJ's definitely makes pretty good buffalo chicken anything.
I've never tried the Eddie and Sam's buffalo chicken. I have to try that.
I'd try that. See what it's like.
We have a place down here that I'm kind of by regularly for my job called Mike's Pizza down in Pinellas County, and they have the buffalo chicken pizza down there. Theirs is obscene. It's like a full-on meats pizza, and then they use like the buffalo chicken dip, as the base, as the sauce. So it's different than like a regular buffalo chicken pizza. It's like eat one piece of it and you're ready to go to sleep and have a heart attack at the same time.
You just reminded me of this other place I might pick up on Friday for Telly's. I'll get their buffalo chicken pizza. It's really good. It's different. They kind of use shredded chicken instead of the chicken chunks. Some places will use like the chicken tender, like the deep fried one, and just cut those up and stuff. But everything's different.
It's the shredded chicken on the Mike's Pizza because it's in the buffalo chicken dip.
Yep. That's why you reminded me.
They use it as
like
the
that.
sauce.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I've had it is definitely it's different and it's really good. Makes you just want to eat the whole fucking thing.
Yes, and it's all the meats. Like pepperoni, sausage, bacon, ham, They used it's the crumbled beef topping at least instead of like the giant hunks of beef. So I'm not crazy about beef topping on pizza. Like I'm not, I don't really need a bunch of unseasoned hamburger tossed on there.
Yeah, I agree completely. I had a really good transition, but I let you keep going because why would I?
Fuck.
I interrupted,
Sorry.
but
Well, I have one more question about food before we move
go
on.
ahead.
How's the calzones at that place, or like strombolis?
They're pretty good. I like them a lot, but I didn't go there for my calzones and shit. So I lived in Cresaptown a lot, and there was this place called Fox's Pizza. They're kind of all over that area in West Virginia and part of Pennsylvania. They're spread out within hours of that area. Anyways, I would go there and get one, and they were pretty good. They were cheaper, that's why I'd get one. But the top one was at Gianni's there, and they wouldn't even have it on the menu. They'd have calzone, and they make buffalo chicken pizza. So I'd just be like, "Hey, make me the buffalo chicken calzone." They'd be like, "Oh, what's that?" And I'd be like, "Just go fucking ask your manager, and he'll make it for you. I'm telling you, I order this every fucking week." So then they go and okay, they make the buffalo chicken calzone, and it'd be fucking amazing. There's that area. So they actually called the things wedgies. The pizza that just folded on itself and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some places call them pockets, pizza subs, same shit.
Yeah, that area. It's fucking Maryland. It's up in the Northeast, so pretty much any of those small towns have any of them that I've been to have good pizza options. It's just, I don't know. It's like once you get past Virginia, like mid part Virginia, it's like nope, cut off. Nah. I whacked my mic. The good pizza places are few and far between, but
well, you wanna know why that is, TJ? It's because you have then ventured into the South.
Yeah, I know. Barbecue.
Yep.
That's
and
what there's plenty of good barbecue. Plenty of good barbecue here.
Oh,
plenty.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Get
good
you a
bar food
pork
too.
sandwich with some steak fries and like a little cornbread. Oh,
that place I went yesterday, it's like Brewster's or whatever. I think that's what it was. Let me pull it up so I get the name right here. I want to do them justice because I feel like they made me some pretty good fucking food yesterday. It was in Charlotte. Brewers at 4001 Yancey at Yancey Road, Charlotte, North Carolina. It's mainly a brewery. Went in there, got a fucking bacon cheeseburger, bacon cheese. That's it. And it was fucking amazing. Really good. I got their buffalo sauce. I dip it in. Got the ranch. Dip the fries in the ranch. Really fucking good. I love bar food. This was one of the best burgers I've had at one of these places. So you're near Charlotte, check out Brewster's at 4001 Yancey or whatever the fuck I just said. Go back. I already forgot. But let's move on from the food talk, Dave, because we could do a podcast of talking about food. And speaking of that, that's actually an idea that we've had. Not a podcast about it, but food-related content.
Oh, yeah. It reminded me of something else food-related, but we should just move on. Because if we don't, we'll continue to talk food. God damn it, you asked. Okay. So, small backstory. This is a sports bar in Tempe, Arizona. We were out there in 2015 to see Tool.
Yeah.
And a big concert and shit. And we needed a place to watch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. We found this place. It was close to the hotel. It was awesome. And it turns out it's a NASCAR bar, not a football bar, but they had a TV with the football on, so it was not a big deal. Then we ordered wings there. And they fry the wings, of course, right? And then they toss them in the sauce. And then after they sauce them, they throw them on the grill and caramelize that sauce up. Bro.
Yeah, some places do it like that.
If you go to Hooters, most places have Hooters, you can order their Daytona wings, which are prepared that way with a what's called their Daytona sauce. You just tell them that you don't want the Daytona sauce and you want like regular buffalo wing sauce or whatever. And that's how they do them. They fry them and then grill
Hooters
them.
fucking sucks.
It does. But that's the only place that I know that does their wings like that besides this place. And this place was awesome.
Every couple places around Cumberland will do them like that for you.
This is back when I used to drink. So the other cool thing about this place is this is like, you got to remember, they're on West Coast time. So we're watching the game at like 10:30 in the morning. And fucking, like I said, it's a NASCAR bar. So every time that there's a caution, everybody in the bar is screaming, "Caution!" And then the girl comes around the bar and they hand out free shots.
Oh, so shit. We
got loaded. Yeah, right. And then apparently if Danica Patrick, who was racing at the time, caused a caution, there was a Danica caution, and everybody would yell that, and then everybody got double shots, and it was just oh no, bro. I wish I could remember the name of it. Yeah, this was like the funnest bar I had ever been to, and I had never met a real Native American before, and I got to meet one, and he was not stoked. How stoked that I was to be meeting a Native American. He was kind of insulted about it at first, and I had to explain to him that, hey, listen, man, I'm only excited because I've never met a Native American before. I'm not trying to be offensive. I just think it's fucking
Respect.
Cool. Exactly. And then once he realized that I wasn't being an idiot, that I was an idiot, but I wasn't being an idiot, we were cool.
Yeah, the so-called Native American at my last job is the one that got me hooked to fucking acid and ketamine. So fucking way to go, Scott.
Oh no. Well,
I'm not on it anymore.
The natives do like to have a good time, so there is that. It's good that you're not doing that stuff, and we're going to use that as a transition to move on and talk about the actual show stuff, because I think we just did like the first 10 or so minutes of just food
16.
talk, essentially. Wow. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. It's just now starting 16 minutes in.
Who cares?
And
we got it.
The little topic here that we got is it possible for a breakout star in the modern wrestling? We're going to jump right into that. There's big stars like Punk and Reigns, but nobody is on the level of previous stars in previous era. Is this by design? What do you think, TJ? Are they do they keep guys down purposely, or are guys just not as big superstars as what they once were?
I think it's a mix. They probably don't want their guys running off like John Cena and The Rock, and Reigns. I don't know. I think Reigns is shitty at acting, so he may not have the availability to do that. But, I think that they want their guys sticking around as long as possible, so they don't want to give them those opportunities. I mean, the WWE used to make movies; they're not doing that anymore. It's tough, but I think wrestling's not as big as it used to be either. So that platform where it used to make these household names, isn't really there. The last household name that they made was John Cena, I feel like, and after that, they maybe Punk is somewhat of a household name, but that's for like a different reason. I mean, he's a wrestler, but it's kind of more of a breakout star.
I think that's fair. I think a part of it is definitely they don't want anybody to get bigger than the company,
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan would be the first example of that, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I think one thing too that they have going on for them is that if they did get a star that was big enough, and let's just say that they ended up kind of turning on WWE, maybe they could be the person to start the union talk.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of factors that go into this. It's funny. Cora said something to me last night, and I forget exactly what it was, but I was like, yeah, these guys are independent contractors, right? And then after a couple minutes, she's like, well, that's not right. They're not. I'm like, no, they are, but it's not right. You're definitely right about that. They should be employees. But it's the more power, you get more power with more star power that you have, right? So I think some of it's definitely by design, but it's tough because they don't have 10 million people watching the shows anymore too.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like it might be like a little bit by design, but also I feel like if they got somebody that was that big of a star and that over, like they're not going to be upset about it.
So, like you look at the UFC, for example, I feel like they're like that somewhat too, but if another Conor McGregor came along, they'd ride it and they'd make all the money off of it, and eventually that will happen again. I think it'll happen with wrestling again too, but it's like, it's probably going to be like 20 years down the road. It's not going to happen right now. Wrestling goes in generations and waves, and they're kind of in between their next wave of like WWE, for example. Their Reigns is about to not be their guy anymore, and they're going to pick the next guy here soon. And we always thought it was going to be Braun, and there's just I highly doubt he's going to be the next guy to break out like that, right? I mean, he's impressive. We're big fans.
Probably Oba.
Maybe. I don't think he's going to be the guy that they pick to be their top guy. He'll be one of them, but he's not going to be like the face of the company.
the Steve Austin of now,
Yeah.
the Hulk Hogan of now,
Yeah.
the John Cena of now.
Excuse me. But
I mean, I guess that's Cody for now, right?
yeah. Yeah, but still, when you look at like their top face guy, it's still Reigns for now, or the top guy in the company, and then eventually, like, even though Cody's like the number two guy for him, or the guy standing in, since Reigns is there a lot, will I don't know the right way to put it, but they'll eventually just kind of supersede Cody, and it'll be like the next guy. Because I mean, how much longer do you think Cody has? His limited run as the top guy, I think, is somewhat, faded out unless he becomes a heel.
Yeah, I mean he's what, 40 now? 41?
42.
He's getting up there. So I mean he's almost the
I
same age
think.
as me. He's gonna have to, they'll be able to ride him for a
Yeah.
while as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, and he still does good work, but he's just stale. I mean, like a lot of the people. It's funny, going to kind of another topic here. We won't stand on it too long, but have you seen how, like, apparently everybody, like, in the locker room is, like, not happy with old Jay Cargill? They've been, like,
Yeah.
tweeting it and all this other shit, and I'm sure that might be a work to some extent, too, but it's funny, like, Jade's, like, the worst fucking chick that they have there for the most part, or one of them, and she's got the belt. She should just be fucking happy that they got her in the position that she is.
I kind of feel like that this is just all a work,
Most likely. They
if
blur the lines.
yeah, no, they're not going to be doing some dumb shit like this publicly, most likely, unless it's
She's not going to be
but
the
maybe.
breakout star. I can tell you that.
Also,
She
to put
looks
it
like
in
she could be.
perspective, these are people that are like, in their mid 20s. And how mature were you when you were 26, 27, 20,
I think
I
Jade
realize that
Cargill's.
you're supposed to be an adult at like 27, 28 years old, but I was still kind of a retard.
I don't think Jade Cargill's in her 20s.
No, that's true. I don't know.
Hold on. I don't know why it's not showing her age here.
Born in 92, she's 33.
She's 33, yeah. But yeah, she's not going to be at the top very long, I think, either. We'll see. They definitely got some shuffling around they got to do with some people, but they seem to maybe keep people around way longer than they should too. So, and I think that's a big reason of why they have some of the staleness going on with what they do. It's like, does the Miz really need to be around anymore? I love the Miz, but at some point these guys gotta kind of ride off into the sunset. Like Sheamus,
Yeah.
you don't need to see him anymore. Seems like Miro's kind of already ran out his thing. You probably toss him out of there, but what do I know?
Got plenty of guys on their way out that they can feed to Gunther so that he can be like, I retired this guy.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. They're definitely going to keep doing that with him for sure. That is his gimmick. But
Everybody keeps being like, he doesn't have a thing for WrestleMania. Sorry to cut you off there. And it's going to be Rey Mysterio. He pulled the mask off of fucking Dragon Lee yesterday and did all that stuff. Like, it's 100% going to be Rey because Rey doesn't have a program. Brock doesn't have a program. And who else? LA Knight. It's not going to be Brock or LA Knight.
Most likely. What do you think? He's going to retire Rey?
Maybe.
That'd be nuts.
Maybe.
But speaking of nuts or not, I don't know. We got the Elimination Chamber, the winners. Wanted to talk about that a little bit, so we'll jump right into it. We got Rhea Ripley here. She won the women's. What do you think, Dave?
That was the right choice. I was kind of... I thought that they almost might give Raquel the nod here, but they had her look really strong in the match overall. So, I wasn't surprised that Rhea won, and this makes sense. She is one of the biggest wrestling stars on the planet, male or female. So, this is a good choice. I'm sure that her and Jade's match will be stiff and clunky, but, Rhea will do the best that she can with what she has available to her,
Yeah, they're trying to load the card, and she's like the biggest female star that they have, like, hands down. And if they want somebody to take the belt off Cargill, I think that Rhea's a pretty good choice. She hasn't had a good run with the title in a while. And, they want all those eyes on the product. So I think that that's a pretty smart move in that manner. And we're big fans of Rhea Ripley, so she's a woman that you want to put in those big situations.
Yep.
I don't see how you think about people that could probably get the best match out of Jade, and I think Rhea or Io are probably the choices there. But Rhea might be a little bit better that way because she could still stronger armor her back. Instead of Io, she couldn't really physically dominate Cargill, whereas Rhea probably could. So
Right. It's at least a physical equal.
yeah. But I don't know if I'm looking forward to the match, but I was more than the idea before without the opponent. Like just thinking of Jade Cargill in WrestleMania. Okay, Rhea on the other end. That's a little bit better than the picture was before. I feel like.
Right. It's a little bit more watchable now. Not necessarily a bathroom break match now.
Yeah. But speaking of something which I think both of us thought was pretty cool, we got
Yeah.
Randy Orton here, ended up winning. There was that Seth
Crazy.
Rollins involvement, which we can talk about that a little bit after this if you want, or whenever, if you remember. But yeah, Randy won. It's pretty cool. He pinned Cody after Rollins ended up interfering in the match, or no, McIntyre interfered, and then Rollins ended up showing up, and they had a whole bunch of wild shit go on, right?
Well, no, Rollins showed up, then Drew and hit Cody.
Yeah.
Because that got Logan Paul interfere or eliminated.
That's right. Yeah, but then now Cody has a match on SmackDown with Drew.
Then he RKO'd Drew, and then Crossroads Drew, and then as soon as he got up out of the Crossroads, Cody ate the RKO and Randy pinned him.
I mean, whatever. That's a good way to go. I think that
That was great storytelling.
I think they're going to have Cody beat Drew Friday.
That's 100% what's going to happen because
that's the match.
Way better of a story to have Randy versus Cody than Randy versus Drew.
And the thing is like, I could look forward to the build up to that. I don't want to see fucking Cody or Randy versus Drew in WrestleMania, but Cody versus Randy, I could get behind that. Those would be some awesome segments, and seeing Randy kind of turn on Cody would be badass, and seeing how Cody deals with that. So I'm actually pretty hyped about that. They picked the right guy, and I really hope that they pick the right direction with Cody versus Randy here.
Yep. I really hope that they let Randy tie or even break Cena's record. He never
took, the guy.
Never took time off or left. I'm not knocking Cena, but Randy has steadfast been there. You know what I'm saying? He
He's
deserves
the guy.
that.
He's not leaving to fucking wrestle. He's better in ring, better at fucking on promos. He's like the prototype of like what a wrestler should be,
Every week on SmackDown 15, 20 years ago, JBL would be on commentary and Randy Orton would be coming out, and JBL would be like, if you could have the blueprint for a WWE superstar, it would be Randy Orton. And he would always drive that point home. And I mean, it's still true 20 years later.
Yeah, he's the man. And it's funny, you talk about the blueprint and you think there would be more like him. There's not.
Nope.
Never will be. It's wild.
Obviously there are people that are more over or bigger stars or whatever, but I mean, Randy Orton is Randy Orton.
So let's use that to pivot into what we're talking about next. So we're talking about big stars and we're talking about the chamber match. What the fuck's happening with LA Knight here, man?
Well, I didn't necessarily like that he was my prediction of who I thought was going to win the chamber originally, but they didn't pull the trigger on him, and I was bummed about that. However, he was the one driving the ambulance on Raw when he took off with Heyman, and Big Jim was going to take the ambulance, and he rolled down the window and he hit him with I'll make sure he gets where he needs to go, and then took off. So they're doing something with him that's going to be cool. I don't necessarily like what has been going on with him, but I do have high hopes for what seems to be coming for him. So as much as I want to shit on them for how he has been used, I think that we might be on the verge of them actually doing something good with him.
We'll see, because I would hate to have him just do some, so it's going to be him versus Brock, and that'll be all right, I guess, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because that's everything that I read, and it makes sense. He drove the thing off with Heyman, so.
Right, and that does make sense. I hadn't
Yeah.
considered that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm sure that they can have a good match and it will
same here.
elevate LA Knight.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to probably have Brock win. I can't see him winning against
LA Knight
Brock,
should
but
win.
maybe.
I
I mean,
doubt it.
I would like it if he would win. It would elevate the either way. This match will elevate him. But if he could somehow sneak one out on Brock, that'd be crazy.
I
Be
think it
awesome.
would too. Yeah.
Well, speaking of crazy and awesome, we had the WWE debut of Danhausen, which I'm very excited for. I love that Danhausen. I know TJ likes him too. I don't know if he loves him, but maybe. What do you
You know who
what do you
wasn't
think of old
excited for him?
Danhausen? Who's that?
Those people that were there.
Well, I think that the stuff had been so hyped up. And speaking of that, you'll notice that today, after everybody saw like a 2-minute backstage skit of him last night, that everybody fucking loves him that has never seen
know
him
the
before,
problem?
and is like, oh, this guy's insane. I love him.
The main problem is,
What's that?
and this isn't the first time, but this was first confirmed when Punk came back to WWE. He would make references. And if you watch AEW, you would have gotten the references. Nobody that was watching WWE got these references. Nobody that watches WWE know who Danhausen is because they're not watching AEW. WWE fans just don't seem to be watching anything but their product and maybe TNA and maybe now AAA. But he's perfect for WWE. I saw Dave Meltzer said that he's making $11 million. Up there with Reigns and them. He's going to be a main event talent, and they're going to get him in the main event scene ASAP. He doesn't know how.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That's crazy if that's true.
He's going to be feuding with Dom, I think. That's going to be because, he cursed him.
He cursed him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a perfect feud.
Right off the bat. Perfect,
he was one of those guys that I somehow stumbled onto him when he was still like on the independent thing, probably like 5 or 6 months before he got to AEW. And I just enjoyed his YouTube shit. Like, his YouTube show is actually pretty entertaining. If you guys
sending it to me.
Haven't watched it, you should. Just the random shit that he does. So I was very excited when he signed to AEW, and he was used decently there for a very short time, and then he'll be used much better here. And everybody got a small taste of the stuff on Monday. It's only going to get better with him from here because he's going to get more comfortable, and just, the sky's the limit. He's already the number one selling merchandise on WWEshop.com right now. So, I mean,
I saw apparently some people in the back were apprehensive to bring him over. It was like split, but they brought him because they knew they could make money, which I guess is the whole point. But, Punk's a big Danhausen guy, so I'm sure that him right off the bat was like, come on, we got to get him in here. I'm excited
went to bat for him.
I'm excited to see what they have him do. I'm sure right off the bat it won't be anything too crazy. It'll be entertaining, though. I don't think he's known for having crazy great technical matches or anything, but that's not really what gets over in WWE anyways.
He is an entertainment wrestler, for sure.
Tony Khan paid him a lot of money to sit on his ass, so I'm sure he's excited to show what he's been working on.
Well, I'm sure that he's nice and healthy too. All that time off,
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of that, we can go ahead and move on from old Danhausen. Can't wait to see what they have him do next, and we'll talk about the next bullshit that we might have here, Dave. That being, do you think Austin will be able to get as over as he was today?
Yeah, I think that. Well, maybe not as over only because wrestling isn't as popular.
Would he be the top guy,
I think that he would be the top guy in pretty much any era.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think he would have to alter his fingers and cussing and the drinking and all that, or?
Well, I don't think he would be able to be as flagrant with the middle fingers and some of the colorful language. But knowing how Steve Austin is, he would go out there and just do what he wanted to do, and when it was successful, he'd be like,
I mean, he'd
and
definitely
they
be the
would
guy
be
in
like,
AEW. There's no
yeah,
doubt about that. Like, I mean, without question. Now in WWE, he'd probably have more of an uphill climb a little bit, but I don't see anybody there now that would be anywhere nearly as entertaining as him.
no, like who there can even come close to talking like at that level. Punk.
And yeah, but even then, I don't know. It's just different.
Yep. Yep.
That would be pretty cool to see a young Steve Austin in today's environment, though. What are you doing, kid? To people that are older than him, like remember he would always
Yeah.
call like what would he say to Rick? Say, like watch your pacemaker, kid.
Settle down, kid, before you blow your pacemaker.
Yeah,
I
I
can't. I
think
can't do a good Stone Cold, but yeah.
yeah. Oh, and me either. The Good Brothers can though. They can do one hell one. If you ever heard theirs on their podcast.
Oh hell yeah. No, I haven't, but I'll have to check into that.
Well, speaking
Well,
of, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you got it.
Oh, in stereo. Well, speaking of things and stuff, how long do you think Triple H is going to be the CCO and Booker?
I don't know. That's a tough one. You know, I don't think Triple H is any more qualified than the next guy to do this. He's been trained for a really long time to do it, and it seems like, despite all that training and being the handpicked guy, that he's not the guy. He's all right in the sense that he's a historian, and he is a wrestler himself, so he understands the business. But I think there's a lot of minute details and things that Vince was better at that he doesn't know how to do.
Well, how long though?
Oh, hmm, hmm.
I kind of feel like
How long's this? They have
almost as
multiple deals. Sorry,
almost as long as he wants to.
they have multiple deals. Netflix. They have the SmackDown. When they have or USA with SmackDown, and then they have what's the other one? ESPN. Let's just say those numbers drastically do go down, and they're doing like terrible. I don't know. It's probably give him about 5 more years, but we'll see. I just I mean, how long can he really do this? How long does he want to do this? He's old. He has health issues.
That's true.
I don't think he's very
Yeah,
good at it either.
I can't find anything that says how long that his deal is for.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I don't think he's very good at it either. I think he's better than some other people would be, but he's obviously ran out of his good ideas. He needs to surround himself with different people or something. Like something's missing. It's just not working out. It's not terrible, but it was way better like 2 years ago.
So whatever happened, he signed a new deal in 2022 because I'm finding some old stuff that said that his
Okay.
contract runs through
Yeah.
March 30th of 2022. So whatever, he signed a new deal.
Huh. I don't know. What do
Then
you think? You said you think pretty much whenever?
yeah, pretty much whenever. Probably at least then he'll probably be doing this at least another 10 years.
I don't know. I guess it depends if he wants to, but then like if numbers do go down, I think they'll get his ass out of there.
Yeah,
TKO's a cutthroat business, but they're not. Their
that's
numbers
true.
aren't going down right now. But if they
Nope.
do, that's about it. I don't really have too much more to add to that. Speaking of
Yeah.
speaking of add to though, Dave, we got the round 3 of the OverMark Greatest Tag Team Tournament.
Yeah. Well, speaking of going down,
Oh shit!
there's 4 teams that are going down today.
Yeah, there are. Fucking go ahead and take us into the first one. Fucking dogs down
Well,
there barking.
shut up, Michael. Rocky, whichever one of you. We got the Outsiders defeating the 2-man power trip. And the numbers game and the NWO wildness is just not enough for old Stone Cold and Triple H to, take on. They are only 2 guys after all. So
Yep.
nobody's going to come help them because, as the 2-man power trip, they were,
They were heels, bro.
pissing off everybody. Nope,
Yeah.
nobody liked them. So, they were jobbing out everybody. So the Outsiders beat them thanks to some outside interference of Vincent and 6 You know, even Hollywood Hogan came out there because he wanted Triple H and Stone Cold to know who the bigger wrestling star is in his opinion.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was out there playing the belt like a guitar and everything. It's cool stuff.
He couldn't help it, huh?
Nah, and that's a good thing. And he was pulling double duty on this card because in the next match, actually, we got the red and yellow Megan Powers. We got Megan Powers, but she fell down and got hurt, so she
Oh
was
no.
replaced by the Mega Powers, and they defeated the Colossal Connection because who is going to beat them other than the Macho Man, Randy Savage,
Yep.
and Hulk Hogan?
Yep.
You
Went
know,
down how you thought it would have happened. Think there was a slam that happened in this match.
big old slam, and then there was
Leg
also
drop.
an elbow drop.
Oh hell yeah. Then followed
So
by the leg drop.
yep, and it was like a cool tag team combination of Mount Rushmore wrestlers, essentially, just out here, blah blah blah, hitting their finishing moves. You guys
Yeah.
know.
And then
Yeah.
after that, we had the New Day defeating Beer Money and a little bit of high flying brawling, maybe a little bit of outside interference by the third man, Big E.
Yep.
And overall, a good match. Not too crazy to hang on, right?
No.
Then we got the
And we
Freebirds
got
defeating the Hardys here, which is awesome because Michael P.S. Hayes was like their little mentor guy in their group
yep.
when they first came over. And they were wearing the Hardys gear.
Bro, when he's wearing the kickwear pants and shit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they were wearing this. All the Freebirds were wearing the kickwear gear for this.
Oh shit, yeah, they came out dressed
Yeah.
like the Hardys to fuck with them.
Yeah.
Psychological warfare.
Yep. But the Freebirds ended up winning because why wouldn't they?
That's
Right.
right. Bad Street USA.
Yep. But then there was a flag that he flew around there and people got pissed and they tried to stab him. Yep. But
Oh, I know what flag you're talking about. I see a lot of those driving around here when I'm doing my job in Florida.
I bet you do. But the further we get into this tournament, the shorter it's going to be, guys. So we're getting close. We got round 4 next. It's the semifinals, and then it'll be the finals after that. We got 2 more weeks. We really appreciate you guys for sticking around and checking out this tournament that we put together. Me and Dave were really proud of it, and we still are. But we can't wait for you to check out next week, right, Dave?
That's right.
Well, let me tell you
It's gonna be really cool. Thanks, Mr. Hogan.
Oh man, talk to us about something else that might be cool.
brother.
Well, will we see The Rock in the WWE again? And is it going to be in the ring? And if not, what's he going to do? I don't know. For me, I probably not wrestling again. I don't know. What do you think?
He's got to have a retirement match, right?
You would think. He's a lot smaller now, man. I don't. There was no rumors of that potential
Yeah.
heart thing.
I don't know. I mean, it's the older he gets, the less likely every year that he's going to wrestle. But he loves attention, so I mean, I wouldn't pass him to have like a little 2-minute match to get his retirement in. But well, he'll be around one day. I mean, he loves showing up and being in front of the crowd and cutting a promo. So I think there's a really high chance, to like super high, that he'll be in the WWE ring again. But wrestling, I don't know about that. 50-50.
I mean,
This year it's 50-50. Next year,
if we're gonna,
it's 55-45. It's
yeah, if we're gonna see him wrestling again, it'll be at Mania in Saudi next year.
good point. Him and Austin will dust off the boots for round 4.
Oh shit, man! I would watch that. I immediately I have no negative thoughts. It would be slower than it was 20 years ago, and I don't even care.
Could you imagine if they just did like a 3-week build where they showed up on TV?
They make a new video package with My Way.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd be all
Oof.
about it. You would too.
Man, yeah. That's
The
not going
Shield
to
as
happen
well.
though. Jeez.
And
But it
will
would
they
be
pay
cool.
enough? And will they pay
Yeah.
enough?
Welcome
true.
to the OverMark Entertainment Podcast.
Oh, well,
Oh,
welcome to
man.
the show.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
about
an hour later.
we're about 44 minutes in, Tony. Really,
Goofball.
really
We're
appreciate
going to
you.
talk about wrestling. We're going to talk about a little MMA, and we might even talk some gabagool.
Huh?
Well, thanks for that. We appreciate you. Better
Screw
late
all
than
this
never.
wrestling crap.
Up.
I just want to get a little slice of my gabagool.
They fucking go get it, dude.
He's out of here. What are we paying him for?
Yeah, what did he come?
We don't even get paid.
Yeah, he makes way more money than we do off this thing. What did he have
Our
to
whole
come in here?
channel's budget. Okay.
Huh. All right. Well, anyways, this is kind of funny because last night, or no, never mind. That's the next one. But do you like women's wrestling better than men's right now, Dave?
I might. There's a good argument to be made that women's wrestling is in a better place than men's wrestling right now, and some of the biggest wrestling stars on the planet and best wrestling stars on the planet happen to be women. So I think that if it's not in a better place than men's wrestling, they're pretty friggin' close.
I have men that I'm more into than the women, but I have more women that I like than the men. So there's more better women out there, but I'm more into the guys that I like.
That's a good way to explain it.
Yeah, because there's just so many good women's wrestlers right now. And then, like, with WWE, there's only, like, 3 or 4 top guys that I'm really behind. With the women, it's like, besides a couple, I'm really into all of them,
Yeah, almost the entire women's roster is awesome.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. And then, it's funny, this is what I was about to say. So, who do you do it to? Demolition? Undertaker announced them, like, he told them during this thing that they're in the Hall of Fame. So it's like, is he the official Hall of Fame guy now? I mean, this cemented it, right? There's no more question.
Yeah, he's definitely, if you're talking to the Undertaker this time of the year and you're a old timer or a legend, you might be wondering if you're going to get the nod, because it looks like that he is going to be their official guy moving forward, which they kind of started doing last year with him doing Triple H, and then this year him doing Stephanie. So yeah, it just seems like, and him
Give
doing
him something
AJ,
to
of
do,
course.
right?
Yeah. Well, and the AJ thing is especially cool because I wonder who AJ is going to pick to induct him.
Sorry, I'm yawning.
No, that's okay.
Maybe the Undertaker. Who knows? Because he had his last match with him,
and they are friends, and were friends before that. Like, so maybe.
Yeah, we shall see. Maybe it'll be Dixie Carter.
Yeah.
Or Jeff Jarrett.
I feel like he's probably not stoked on either one of them, based on them asking him to take less money.
It'll be the Good Brothers. No, it'll probably be the Undertaker.
It'll probably be Taker or Cena.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But speaking of we'll see, Dave, Javon Evans, push or pass?
100% push this guy to the moon, strap the rocket to his ass, and push him as far as he'll go. Yeah.
So you're saying he'll jump higher?
Yeah.
I think you should definitely push him, man. He's got something figured out. Just he gives me that Jeff Hardy vibes a little bit. He's just like a young guy, kind of got the wiry moves about him, just a lot of energy, confidence, a little bit of rebellious streak to him.
His character, that's like the last thing that he's missing. Is
and he'll figure it. They'll get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what his character is supposed to be right now, other than that, like, he's a cool, athletic young man that is a good wrestler. Which is, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, but you need that extra thing to make folks care.
They'll get it. I trust that they will.
Sky's the limit for this kid.
Apparently, kind of a little bit different. Randy's mentor and Trick.
Hell yeah. Lemon pepper steppers.
Yeah, that's a good guy to do that. But yeah, we both want to push Javon Evans to Unst Moon. And speaking of Unst, I'll take over here for a minute, Dave.
Hell yeah.
So we had last week's Fight Night event for the UFC. I'm only going to talk about the main event. It's kind of funny. So Loner Cavana came in as like a 3-week replacement, maybe 2-week, and beat Brandon Moreno, the favorite, in Mexico. They were in Mexico City, Mexico, and Brandon Moreno's like the Mexican guy for the UFC. So he's headlined the last 4 Mexico cards, lost this one, which stinks, but he'll be back, and Loner Cavana's probably like 23 years old, and the sky's the limit. we'll move on from that fight night card. And this kind of goes to what I was talking about when we first started this. I'm going to Cumberland, and Saturday, that will be one of the things I'll be doing. I will be watching UFC 326 with my buddies. We have a couple people coming over, the same as usual. It's going to be Brandon. Not the same Brandon that we always talk about, but a different one. Five Fingers is his nickname. Then we'll have Mike PG Flanagan, and then he's going to bring like our childhood friend Andrew. His name's Andrew Carter. Funny because we know another one of those.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And it'll be cool to hang out with them. And we're going to get wings and pizza. And it's going to be a fucking awesome time. But speaking of awesome time, this card may not be that. It is not all that for a numbered UFC card. I'm going to go down it and you're going to see why here, Dave. We have Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira for the BMF title. Good fight. BMF titles, whatever. I'll enjoy this. It's going to be a good fight.
Why is the BMF title still a thing? Like, I thought that was a gimmick fight thing for
a fight. Well,
that was a bullshit fight too. Like the cut stoppages are retarded.
Yeah, they definitely are, especially with a guy that has no problem with going. It was just like cartilage and shit. There was no problem. It wasn't gonna fall off. If it did, it'd probably do him a fucking favor.
Yeah, I mean, like, watch any Diaz fight. Like those guys bleed.
Cut up easy.
It just is what it is. Yeah,
they got him shaved down. It helped Nick a lot, but I don't think Nate had it at that point. But then we got the co-main event. It's Kyle Berhalo versus Renier Davrier. It's an important middleweight matchup, 185. I'll really be looking forward to that. Rob Font versus Raw Rosas Jr. That'll be a good one. That Raw Rosas Jr. is that Chihuahua guy that has the really weird looking head. We have lightweight Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. Two aging lightweights. I'm not really...
Michael Johnson sounds familiar.
Yeah, you've seen him fight a lot. He's been fighting in the UFC for a while. He's probably got number 3 for all-time fights there. It'll be a good fight, I guess, but not much on the line at all. Pretty old. Then at middleweight we have Gregory Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferreira. That'll be good. Bruno's a pretty entertaining guy. Then we got the prelims: Cody Garbrandt versus Xiao Long. Everybody knows who Cody Garbrandt is.
Fucking Cody No-Chin, dude. That guy gets knocked out a lot. I remember.
Yeah. Well. Yeah,
is that still the case?
You probably previewed what's going to happen here, and then we're
then
we're going to go to featherweight with Ricky Tricios versus Alberto Montez. Not sure who Montez is, so that'll be cool seeing him for the first time, I believe. And then at flyweight, have Cody Durden versus some guy. That'll be Niam Jarjal Tumunduburil.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even going to try that one.
I've seen Durden fight. Should be all right. Flyweight, Sue Murderedge versus Jesus Santos Aguilar. That'll be pretty technical. Yeah. And then at light heavyweight, we have Luke Fernandez versus Rafaldo Bellato. Feel like it's a lot of Brazilian guys on this. Either way, should be good. Looking forward to it.
I want to circle back to the Cody real fast. Didn't he have some kind of flashy knockout or something? And then after he had that flashy knockout is when dudes just started knocking him out every time?
No, he had a couple good knockouts, but they wouldn't say they were flashy. He ended up beating he ended up beating Dominic Cruz for the belt. And then TJ Dillashaw came in after that and knocked him out twice. And then in the fight that he came back after that, he got a really impressive knockout. That's the one you're talking about, I think. And then after that,
he's dancing around or something when he did.
Yeah. Well, he didn't knock that guy out. He dropped him. That was Dominic Cruz. That was the one fight where he did really well. It's when he won the title, but he did not successfully defend the title. And it was TJ Dillashaw who kind of fucked him over, in both those fights. But yeah, speaking of MMA, we got a segment that I remember when we were talking about when we were bullshitting before this with Brandon, and it's the Tito Ortiz quote of the week. This is some pretty funny shit. This is probably the dumbest motherfucker that you'll ever read. right, Dave?
Yeah, trying to read this right now, this is actually not as bad as the sentence that you had sent me the other day.
Yeah.
I literally felt like maybe that I was having a stroke and that I was misreading text because I was stroking out. It was so...
Nope.
I don't even know what word to use to describe it.
It was real.
Yeah.
But anyways, here's the Tito Ortiz quote of the week. Jealous of him? This guy can't even put a fucking sentence together, man. Are you kidding me right now? He's reaching for those grapes. He's trying to make his wine. And the wine's already sounding like a violin with that cheese and wine. We'll see on November 24th. It's funny, my birthday, but that's not even a bad one. But what is that? What's he talking about?
I mean, he's trying to do like a wrestling promo.
Yeah, but who reaches for a violin?
I don't
That's
know.
not, nobody does that. The only thing they do is they play the sad violin when they're sad, but you don't
Yeah,
reach for a
I
violin when you get knocked out.
I guess maybe that's what he was trying to.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm having a hard time connecting the dots here. Thank you, Tito. For saying things that we can talk about, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. We'll pick a good one for next week. But take us into the. Go ahead.
Well, before we jump into the image thing, I'm back on the food thing.
Okay.
Talking about Tito reminded
Yeah.
me of. I have a local pizza place here called Tito's.
Yeah, you talk about it
And,
here and there.
Have I?
Yeah, a couple times.
Okay. Well, they got good pizza and calzone there. Yeah. Sorry, I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner yet. So anytime something reminds me of food, just boom, instantly right on food. But speaking of things to eat, there's going to be none of those in this segment. We're doing the photo album, which everybody knows and loves. We're gonna bring my picture up here, and
It's an all-time classic already.
this is gonna be hot topic, and if people don't like this, I'm sorry, but brand risk, old Aiden Ross, the streamer guy, he has he puts on these little fight events. Well, we're to the 13th of it, and man, so Gypsy Crusader, you guys may know him. That's the fella that gets on the internet there and dresses up like the Joker and calls people names, we'll say. And then he's going to be fighting Super Hot Fire, which is the kid with the GIF meme with the kids going ah. He's the kid standing there in the background with the glasses on. So we've got a meme guy versus a white supremacist who is a trained fighter. I want to see the promos leading up to and after this, just to see what these people say and do.
Well, I know what he's going to say a couple times.
At least, and if he wins, the post-fight rant is going to be something that we can't quote on the podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
That's how crazy it'll be.
Yeah,
but this will probably be relatively entertaining. I'm planning on doing like a Discord watch along.
Is this kickboxing, MMA, boxing?
My understanding is it's going to be boxing rules.
Okay.
So the super hot fire guy, meme kid, has apparently been like doing some backyard boxing training at a place. Wow. And the Gypsy Crusader is a trained Muay Thai fighter that I think has 14 professional Muay Thai fights, and I can't remember how many professional boxing fights. So like, this is, and he was originally supposed to fight some other streamer, and then that streamer backed out. I guess he was afraid that there was a potential that he could lose. So, I wouldn't necessarily want to go fight and get beat up on TV or on the internet either. So, but we're gonna do a Discord watch along of this with the homies because I think it's going to be entertaining and hilarious. So, yeah, it's going to be next Saturday, the 14th. It's at 8 p.m. It's going to be YouTube, Kick, Twitch, Twitter. It's online stuff. Wherever Aiden Ross does his streaming shit at, I don't have a link for you guys. Just Google it. It'll be there. I'm looking forward to watching this. I know that it sounds crazy, but having a couple of goofs fight each other can be entertaining.
Yeah, it can, especially when they're that one particular goof.
It's very charged.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
whole
definitely.
it's I almost want to go, but I'm afraid of like what the crowd would be like. Um,
I'm sure it'll be all right.
people could start popping off because nobody
You'll probably be all
is
right.
stoked.
There'll be
Yeah,
security. They know what's up.
yeah. Well, also though, it's in Miami, which is like a good
Yeah,
5 hour
Miami.
drive for me.
Oh,
So
yeah, then don't do that. Miami.
yeah, I'd rather just stay here and do the cool Discord watch along with the homies, and we'll eat some pizza and chicken wings together.
Well, speaking of Miami, we have something that has absolutely nothing to do with that, with the picture that I picked out. And it is a link from the beta of Ocarina of Time. He's got that different color Hylian shield there, and he just looks different. You know, you can tell he's got those like long like sleeve, his arms skinnier. He's got weird hands. He's in some random dungeon. I just think it's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I like your images. They're always something like I never am going to be able to predict what your image is going to be. And I try my best to not look at them prior to the show. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a whole bunch more images, but it's not the. I guess it is the photo album, so maybe we can do a couple of them next time if there's something like this. But there's more pictures of this beta out there,
Yeah.
and one of the reasons that I thought this was kind of interesting, and we should probably do a video on this one day, Dave. I think we could do some justice. But they were going to have Zelda DD for the disc drive. And part of all this beta stuff was a big part of all that. And this game was supposed to be way bigger. It was supposed to have a clock, go by like actual real day hours, and have a whole bunch of different events, and that never made it. And we never really saw the full version of Ocarina of Time that they were going to have out there. And it's a shame. But, this is just a little tease of maybe around that time of when they still had some of that stuff in there, maybe. We'll never know.
Maybe that'll be a future deep dive or something, like a Ocarina of Time deep dive.
Can you imagine knowing it's like I just spent $2,500 on this disk drive, something like that. Maybe one day I would really enjoy that. I feel like we had an idea earlier, Dave, too, and I already forgot it that we didn't put down. We said we were going to do something, and I don't know what that was. I mean, I guess it's not that important. Hopefully, it pops back to us.
Well, we're the kings of forgetting.
Oh no! I'm gonna post a picture of JJ's food that I get. I think
Oh yeah.
Also, we got the images, so I need to put the dang old time in there. Close enough. All right, but yeah, another interesting week for our pictures. Yours definitely should be pretty interesting, and mine's at beta. But speaking of that, since we already opened up the OverMark photo album, we usually after that open up the OverMark MP3 folder, right?
Yep.
Well, we got Dolphin Shoals from Mario Kart 8. I didn't have much of a build up there, but this song's fucking awesome. That saxophone, it's like a classic. It's literally like the perfect. I don't know how to say it. Like it's like a retro Mario song, but like reinvented with like modern fucking tools and shit. And it's just, well, not modern tools, just real instruments and shit. It sounds
real
amazing.
Instruments, yeah.
Yeah, it's just so clean, and I feel like it's actually from another level or something from back in the day. But Dolphin Shoals, I believe, is in a remake, and it's like a Mario Kart 8, like first time it popped up in that. But you know how like you say like when you hear a song, you're like, yeah, that one's it. I heard that and I was like, damn, we should definitely do that one. Just a badass
as soon
song.
as I heard it, I was like, that is the one. Yeah.
When was the Super Nintendo the first Mario Kart that you played?
Yeah.
And then obviously you ended up playing the N64 version at a friend's.
Yeah. My friend Jesse and Carlton, they were brothers. They had the Nintendo 64 over at their house, so we would go over there and we'd play like Mario Kart, GoldenEye, Turok, Dinosaur Hunter. Gauntlet Legends was a really fun, really fun.
Everybody sucked at Turok. Like nobody ever beat it. Like you get somewhat far into it, but it's A lot of people didn't
hard.
have a memory card, so then they couldn't save their game, but it was definitely hard. And all those games, it was a platformer too, so it's like the game ran terrible. So like you're platforming at like 15 FPS, and everything looks like shit. And the controls are really jumpy, and it was a mess. But it was a fun game.
Yep.
Real fun.
Perfect Dark, which was basically kind of just like GoldenEye.
Yeah.
With the different characters and levels and stuff. It was a great game though. I really liked
People love
Perfect
that
Dark
game.
a lot.
You couldn't play the full game without the expansion port.
Right. I mean, it was no GoldenEye, but still a good game.
Yeah, I think it was a great game. But I think that's the perfect transition into our Channel 3 main topic, or whatever the fuck, our Channel 3 gaming topic that we're going to be talking about here. And speaking of that, we're going to be talking about Mario 64, huh, Dave?
Yeah, we sure are, which is awesome.
Yeah. And we're talking about how Mario 64 is like, like the perfect launch, or not the perfect launch title, a perfect launch title. We're not saying it beats out everything else, right? We're just saying that it's a perfect launch title for the time it came out and the console that it came out for.
Exactly.
And we think some of the ways that it kind of, sums up that it was a perfect console launch, at least for this one game, was that anytime that you saw this game, so like, it was the Ultra 64 before it was the N64, right, Dave? And
yep.
You would see trade
such a
shows all the time.
mouthful.
Yeah.
Nintendo Ultra 64.
But so you would see like the magazine pictures. Then you would see like the trade shows where they would have this thing going off. And there was one thing that you always noticed, right? Mario 64 was in every single one of these things. It was like synonymous with the Ultra 64 anytime you saw it. And the same way with the N64 when they decided to switch its name over. But I can't remember any time that I saw the N64 before launch where Mario wasn't involved.
No, I mean, it was pretty much there, attached at the hip.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, you didn't have an N64.
Nope, PlayStation.
And then what game was like synonymous with the 64 for you? Like when it first came out and when you thought about it?
Ocarina of Time, honestly, but Mario 64 as well. Yeah, it's just because I
wasn't out at launch. I was saying like if there's like a launch title for it's
well, it would the launch title would definitely be Mario 64.
Yeah.
But the first game that I experienced on Nintendo 64 was Ocarina of Time. But yeah, Mario
that's an
64.
amazing game.
Yeah,
One of the best games ever.
Literally.
Yeah, that's something that we'll definitely have to highlight one day. But yeah, I think it's was pretty cool. You can see all this really cool like beta or like early Mario 64 images that came out as a part of that Giga Leak a couple years ago. We'll end up showing some of those here. But yeah, another interesting thing about this is like, you can talk to us a little bit about it, Dave, but it's like it wasn't a perfect launch, right? And the optics weren't perfect for Nintendo surrounding the N64 launch for a whole bunch of different reasons.
Yeah, the dev kits costed more than Sony's cost. The cartridges had to be purchased directly from Nintendo. Makes it a little bit more tedious to have to deal with. And, cartridges obviously are going to be more expensive than a CD. And, that kind of made a lot of publishers shy away or, maybe not put as much effort into the Nintendo 64 basket as what they would have done.
That's why they lost Square Enix developing games for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've talked about it on the show before. The whole reason that I picked PlayStation was because they were going to have the Final Fantasy exclusivity. And, you go back and there is development pictures from when they were developing Final Fantasy VII for Nintendo 64. And it looked a lot more like a Final Fantasy that you were used to seeing on Super Nintendo. It was akin to that. It was just a little bit more like that on steroids. And then versus what it ended up becoming on PlayStation. I mean, it historically ended up being the right choice for
especially,
both companies.
Yeah, and especially for, you have two consoles. Sony only beat Nintendo out by a year at the launch, but you have two consoles that they're fresh on developing for, so they don't have the tricks of the trade down with it. They don't have like
Right.
all the cool like ways to like, oh, this is the most efficient way to run this, to do that. So really it's like it would have been tough for them to learn on the N64 too, how to compress all that stuff, how to make a game that would have really worked on that. Because it's
Right.
the cartridge sizes were so small. I mean, CDs held far more data. It was 650 megabytes compared to 64 on cartridges.
That's like
That's
10
pretty
times the
wild.
size difference, literally.
Yeah, and then like with all this, the Sony games too. Back in the day, you had all these FMVs, higher quality audio, way bigger games, and you had that as proof of concept before Nintendo 64 even launched. So again, we're saying like right off the bat, developers aren't liking them. Gamers aren't liking them because developers are painting a bad picture for them. And the games were more. The CDs were cheaper. So I mean, any way you look at it, consumer friendly, developer friendly. It wasn't Nintendo at the time, and historically, it kind of never has been.
Yeah.
You had, and because of that, really though, they were putting all their eggs in the basket of Mario 64, so like, it needed to hit, like it needed to showcase, this is why we're using this technology, and this is why this is the game, and this is why you want this hardware. If it didn't showcase that, it would have been a complete flop.
Yeah. It could have been a Sega level of success as opposed to a Nintendo level of success.
Even for Nintendo at the time, it didn't do nearly as well as the other ones. I don't have the figures in front of me, but it sold way less than the SNES, but it's still, compared to a lot of other consoles historically, it did way better than.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh yeah. And it historically was a lot more fun too.
yeah. So like we had 2 games on launch. So my sister was the one who got the 64 for Christmas, and like she would just like get shit that I wanted to play. I guess as a thing to make me jealous, but I don't know how it worked, because then it was like I would sometimes get 2 Christmas gifts. We would have like 2 different consoles. It's funny, but I forget what I think I got the Saturn that year, or I got something, and she got the 64. But anyways, so I'm sitting there playing this game, and it like consumed my life. Like we had Wave Race as well, but Wave Race wasn't nearly as grasping as Mario 64. But
Oh yeah.
I would go to school in 2nd grade, and I would just sit there and think about the game and playing it. And I have severe ADHD, so do you. So you know how it is. You're sitting there in school, and it's like, well, your brain just drifts off, and you're just thinking about what you're most interested in. It's not school, it's
No.
Mario 64, right?
Yep.
I could just go on and on and on, but sleepovers with friends, times in my life where I feel stressed out, so I play a game that helps me zone out. It's Mario 64. It's more than just a game to me, but that's not what we're here for. We're just talking about a little bit personal memories with it. But I'm just saying, wow, second time I whacked the mic, but it's just a super awesome game, and I feel like when it came to like the N64 tech demo at the beginning, I feel like Wave Race did a really good job too. It's like graphics look great, but Mario 64 was literally like the defining moment of the 3D platformer. It wasn't the first, but it was like it nailed it.
And what a cool game. Just
Yeah,
it launched. It flipped the criticism on its head by showing how fast and seamless that the cartridges could be. You didn't have to deal with load screens and waiting. Even though Sony sometimes would figure out a way to make the loading
it was never as
kind of
fast.
part of the game. Yeah, it would never be as fast as a console or a cartridge, my bad. The
Yeah.
cartridges just, it's a instantaneous. Think of it like the flash memory on your phone or in your computer now.
Yeah, and like we were saying, some people were leery, but I think the first time I actually played the 64, it was at a kiosk at like a GameStop or like a C or something. That's where I played a lot of my games first. And it's like the second that you jumped out of that green tunnel at the beginning, it's like, oh shit, like you just like it's real. And then you start moving around, and you're like, oh man, this is like legit. I gotta have this thing. So I mean, I feel like just by my own personal experience, it's literally proof of concept here.
Yeah, definitely. And I would feel like that's a fairly universally shared experience when it comes to playing Mario for the first time, on
And
64.
really the cartridges were the only limitation. I mean, this was the most powerful system at the time, I believe. Like, I just know that like when you compare like games that were across both of them, if you take out the audio and the songs and stuff, the Nintendo 64 most of the time looked better, right?
A lot of times, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like
Not
most
always.
people, yeah, not always, but most of the time. And I feel like most people back in the day were like, they thought it was a stronger console. You
But
look at some,
they had to figure out how to develop for it.
yeah. You look at something like Conker's Bad Fur Day, something that came towards the later end, and that was more of like a further vision of like all the things that console could do. And it's
Perfect
funny,
Dark.
yeah, yeah, that's true. You're definitely right. And you look at it now, and some guys like took Mario 64, and he like made it run like way more efficiently, and it's like at like 60 FPS at a higher resolution, better looking textures. So the N64 actually wasn't even scratched on back in the day, but back then, I mean, you played it and you were just like, you felt like you were, it was definitely like, there were bigger steps in generations back in the day. The next generation of consoles would come out and you'd be like, holy shit, this is the leap I've been looking for. From Super Nintendo to the N64, that was it, right?
Yep. And I kind of feel like we're getting towards the end of feeling that big jump,
Yeah.
machine to machine. Like obviously the next generation with the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube and stuff like that was still a big jump and felt that way, but that might be the last generation that kind of felt like that. After
Wowed
that, it
you.
was just kind of like, yeah,
I feel like when it came to like maybe the original Halo, I got that a little bit. But maybe after the original Halo, it's like when 360 came out, like you weren't wowed. I mean, Oblivion was probably like, oh, this is amazing, this is awesome. But I mean, I feel like the probably the biggest wow and leap in generational quality was the N64, the Super Nintendo to the N64 for me. When you look at like console to console,
yeah,
and that was highlighted with this game.
makes sense.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny when you look at the speed running and everything, right, Dave? I mean, it's all over the place.
Super degenerate about it, some of these guys.
Yeah, I could never do the stuff that they do. They're like, and a part of that is like the controller, the movement, also somewhat the bugginess version of the game. But people are still beating their new scores every year. I feel like it's one of the most like competitive and still community driven speedrunning communities out there.
Yeah. It, it's unfortunate because obviously, like people use some goofy shit to do some of the speed runs, and they're not like legit speed runs. It's like, well, you jumped through a fucking wall or something. You know what I mean?
Well,
They're using like an exploit.
they have a whole bunch of different versions of speedrun. So you have like 100% no exploit and a whole bunch. So those are right in their lanes. They have a whole bunch of different versions of that. But we highlighted this a little bit earlier. But I mean, it was one of the first fully realized 3D platformers, and it literally set the tone for pretty much I feel like any platformer afterwards, right?
Yeah.
It changed how Rare was making their games. They saw it and they're like, well, we got to scrap 12 Tails and make it Conker's Bad Fur Day, and then we got to go deeper with Dream and change it to a bear and a bird type game with Banjo platforming.
Old Banjo Kazooie. That was a cool game.
Yeah, it changed the way a lot of people develop games, and the movement was a big reason why. I mean, obviously the graphics were a big thing, but the movement was probably how natural it felt in 3D. It was an experience, not just a new game, right?
Yeah.
It was a new game too, but I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I do believe I know what you were saying.
Yep. And it did. 30 FPS was kind of like the standard at the time, so it got that, and it felt like it ran pretty well.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it would lag when you got into. Yeah, it ran very stable.
Yeah. And it did sell the most games out of any console on the Nintendo 64. 12 million copies. Almost. Just right at it.
Well, 12 million people can't be wrong.
Yeah. It didn't just show what the N64 could do. It literally taught players how to use it. I mean, that's... How could you go any more further in our point than that?
Yeah. It taught developers, hey, this is the surface of what we can do with this.
Well, that and their platforming too. I'm telling you, a whole bunch of developers changed the way that their games controlled after playing this game or just seeing it.
Yeah, they A lot of learning going on
Yeah.
in this era of gaming.
Absolutely. And it's funny, it actually launched another generation of gaming, didn't it, Dave?
Yeah, it sure did. Which one was that? Oh, the DS. That's right.
Yes. Yes.
They ended up reusing it to launch the DS. Two consoles, two eras, and the same game proving hardware value. I can't talk.
It's okay. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty badass. It had an online multiplayer, local multiplayer. You could people could, they didn't even have to have the game. They could wirelessly connect to you and then download the multiplayer portion of the game. It wasn't anything too crazy, but um, that game, it did a whole bunch of cool stuff. And it was literally like almost a perfect remake slash demake of that game. You could do stuff into the mic and shake, do the touch screen. It was a perfect proof of concept for hardware for that generation and literally another generation. Two different fucking consoles it launched Nintendo with. I mean, how could you say that it was literally a perfect launch console once? Oh shit, twice.
Yeah, I feel like it's about time to do it again.
Yeah, they will. And you know the funny thing? Mario 64 DS was selling at full launch price even after the 3DS released in stores. They had
Hell
that many
yeah.
copies of the game, and then it was still selling. So they're like, "Fuck it, let's just sell it for $40." You see all the DS, all the 3DS games, and then just one DS game.
Yep.
It's funny, actually. I have the game right here, Mario 64 DS. It's an awesome
Oh,
game,
hell
man.
yeah. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
I would carry my DS around, and I would be playing it, and they'd be like, "You haven't beat that game yet?" It's like, I've beaten this game more times than your meat, bud. But let me tell you one thing: this never gets old.
Right. I'll neither just beating your meat.
I'm not saying that. I'm just maybe his does to him. I was just trying to do some witty little thing there, and who knows if it worked or not.
I laughed.
Yeah,
That's fuck it.
yeah, but it definitely wasn't a perfect game, right? But at launch, it was perfect for what it was and perfect for what they needed. If they didn't have it, I feel like the Nintendo 64 wouldn't have survived or sold nearly as half as many copies. Or I think it sold like 20 million or something. It might have only done 13 million. And don't quote me on that. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. It definitely galvanized Nintendo for that generation.
It's still one of my favorite games of this day. The music for it, the art, you can't see it, but I have part of the promotional art on a tapestry on my wall. It was an unreleased thing of him in his metal form. But
That metal form, I have seen that tapestry.
well, I
That's
know
very
you
cool.
have. I just mean the people watching the video. But yeah, we love Mario 64, and we when you look at the launch titles for games these days, it's like nothing really competes.
Yeah, I mean, what are we supposed to be getting super excited about? It doesn't feel.
What the
Well, I
Switch
mean, what
launched with,
even?
the
I
Switch
don't even
2.
know.
The Switch 2 came out with Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild HD. It had Mario Kart World. And I'm trying to think. And then Donkey Kong Bonanza came out a couple months later. It wasn't at launch. And Bonanza, if that was a launch title, I would have actually maybe put it up there with Mario because it shows the hardware capabilities of the Switch 2 very well.
Wasn't Mario Kart World very expensive and at first, and there was kind
80
of like a
bucks.
backlash about that? Oh, yeah, I
80.
remember Brandon having a meltdown about it being $80.
Well, now he's okay with it because he's playing it and stuff. But I still think it's a little bit expensive. They really didn't. That world's not very detailed, and they didn't reimagine the game in a positive manner. They've been working on it, and it's better than it used to be. Mainly because instead of just doing level, you do level, open world race, level, open world race, and it just kind of split the classic formula that you really enjoyed. But that's not what we're here to talk about. That's what we're going to be talking about in a second. You ready to move on from 64, Dave?
Hell yeah, we
Awesome.
sure are.
Awesome game. We appreciate you guys from listening. And if you haven't played 64 yourself, you're really missing out.
Yep, and do yourself a favor and Google all the different colors. Maybe someday we'll talk about that. But there's a whole bunch of different colored Nintendo 64s. If you didn't know, now you get to jump down that rabbit hole and see which color you want the most. And hey, let us know in the comments. which one that you think that you like the most and you want to get.
Absolutely. But speaking of that, we're going to be talking about something else when it comes to Nintendo, and it's our favorite Mario Kart track. Why don't you take us off, Dave? What's your favorite track? We got a close one here.
This is fairly nostalgic for me, and I like how close we are on our picks. Mine is the Koopa Beach 1 from Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo. I can't tell you how many summers that I spent in Mobile, Alabama at my Nana's house. Obviously, I played this shit at home, but I just a lot of memories playing Super Mario Kart with Nana. And this was
It's
our
awesome
favorite
she
level.
played it with you.
Yeah. This is still my favorite level for Mario Kart. Yeah. Well, what's yours?
Koopa Trooper Beach for the 64.
Hell yeah,
And
we
you
love
know
those
why?
Koopa beaches.
You know why? Because that little jump on the ramp through the waterfall, that little shortcut, and you go out the other side by that other ramp. It's like that. You'd have to have the boost and the skill, so it wasn't like it was free.
Nope. That was why I liked the Koopa Beach, because there were little skips that you could do
Yep.
in the water and things of that nature.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I think that stuff's awesome. And speaking of awesome, I think we got one more thing before we get out of here, Dave.
We do. Well, how many more generations of traditional consoles do you think that we're going to have?
One more.
I'd say that's a fair assessment.
Maybe besides
thinking,
Nintendo.
thinking one or two myself. Nintendo will probably keep carting out like the handheld home console systems, but other than that, I think that I agree with you. We're closing in on the end of the home console.
It's going to be cloud-based a lot. They're getting fiber everywhere. If you don't have it, you're maybe out of luck. But pretty much anything is an Xbox these days. They're going to cost an arm and a leg. These next consoles are probably going to cost $700 to $1,000. I think they're going to be around $1,000. So
especially because of the RAM price increase.
Exactly. And then right off the bat, that's going to eliminate a lot of people from wanting to buy it. And then the Switch is going to be a way more interesting choice for a lot of people because of that.
Remember when all these prices were going up on RAM and stuff, and all these console gamers were making fun of us computer gamers that we were idiots and all this stuff. And it's like, well, wait till the next generation of consoles come up, because I got bad news for you. Memory goes in those too.
Well, it's going to be using like the same memory that goes inside the 5090, so it's going to be like GDDRX7. I think there's maybe one other letter in there. But yeah, it's going to be using like the really high-end shit, so it's going to be expensive, and then they're going to be using the fast NVMe drives, and they're going to cost an arm and a leg, and I feel like they're probably going to lose more money on the consoles than ever at launch. But maybe not. What do we know? Maybe they'll delay. They don't need new consoles. They haven't fucking made new games for the current ones, I feel like.
But yeah, I mean, at this point, I kind of, like, I've checked out on buying consoles a while ago. I think the last console I got was the Switch.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I like having them. I don't know if I'm going to be getting the next Xbox, and I'm not going to be getting the PlayStation. So I already got the next Nintendo that's going to last me 10 years, since that seems to be the length of their console duration now is 10 years. But so we're both on one.
Probably get the next when they come out with the Zelda Special Edition or whatever for the Switch.
Yeah. That's going to be the Ocarina of Time edition that's going to announce for this holiday.
Ooh.
Get
two of those.
Put that down here, folks. Ocarina of Time Switch edition, Switch 2 edition's coming out. It's going to be a remake, and they're going to release a special edition version of that me and Dave are going to scoop up, and we're going to fucking be the only people with unopened versions of them here in 50 years, and you guys are going to eat shit, and we're going to sell them for more money than you guys could ever imagine.
Speaking of eating shit, I was and this sort of thing, I was looking at, I've got the PlayStation Mini and the Super Nintendo Mini and the Nintendo Mini. I had stumbled on this website that sells these clear boxes, essentially, that you can put like your Super Nintendo Mini box inside of, so it keeps your box in like perfect condition.
Yeah.
So like, you get one of those for your Switch thing, and you throw it in there, and then you throw it up in the closet, and the shit is literally fucking brand new.
I have mine in the cardboard box it shipped in. Like, I opened it like that, the shipping box, to make sure it was the Switch in there, and then I taped the box back up. So I've never opened the actual OLED box, just the shipping box that it was in.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to say, hopefully they didn't send me fucking like some shampoo.
Right.
It happens.
What did Nintendo do to me?
I've seen people, it was from Amazon, but I've seen people getting, they'll order like 64 gigabytes of RAM and only get 32, and then Amazon's like, what? We sent you 64, and then they won't refund them, and then they're stuck with. I've seen it happen with NVMe drives too, where they order a 4, get a 2, and I've seen some people order a 2 and get a 4. Yeah.
So the people grabbing the shit off the shelves, or the people that are stocking the shit on the shelves, don't know what they're doing, or somebody is
They don't care.
screwing something up somewhere.
They're on their phone and hitting the vape while they're doing all that.
Doing double blinkers until they pass out in the warehouse.
That's right. But speaking of doing double blinkers, it's time for us to double blink our ass on out of here, Dave.
Yeah. Well, this was a fun episode.
Yep.
We thought it was going to be shorter, and it ended up not being. That's what
Hour
happens
30.
when we talk about food for the first 20 minutes of the show.
Yeah, that's okay. I enjoyed it. Maybe we'll
Hopefully
talk about
everybody else is hungry, and go on Instagram before we get out of here. Not you, just the fans. And look up Giovanni's Italian Deli and just look at the sandwiches that guy makes. He gets on there and he's like super Italian, and he's like, "It's time to make a sandwich. How you doing?" And he's just like turbo Italian, it's New York Italian. It's entertaining, and the sandwiches look insane. And our boy Tim has eaten there because he lives up there, and he says it's fire. So
speaking of fire. It feels like I might have a little bit of that. I gotta urinate. And
let's get out of here.
We will. I'm just saying we're gonna head in that direction. But I appreciate you guys for listening. Appreciate you like always, Dave. I'm gonna sign off, hand it to Dave, and then we will see you guys soon.
Hell yeah! Much love, TJ. Good luck with your trip, and I hope that your JJ's Pizza is everything that you hope for and more.
I like the wings are the best part. But I'll see you guys soon. I'll talk to you in a bit, Dave.
Deuces, everybody.